What's up, guys? It's Gothic, aka Sam, and today we are continuing on our Asagao Academy Normal Boots Club Satchel. Yes, we're dating Satchel this time around, so let's get it going. When we went to the lunch table the day after the festival, the Normal Boots Club wasn't at their table. That's strange. It's fine. Let's just grab our own table today. They probably had a secret club meeting or something. Together we moved to an empty table in the back of the cafeteria. Sitting there, eating my mushy pea and miso soup, a memory suddenly flashed in my mind. Oh, my, don't you remember eating here before? Yeah, back in the very beginning of the school year, before Paul got ice cream all over me and we joined the Normal Boots table. She set her chopsticks down and stroked her chin thoughtfully. Now that you mention it, yeah, you're right. Wow, things have totally changed since then. Yeah, I used to not have any friends, and I was so scared. You might not have known this, but it was the same way for me back then. Really? I was never really popular, you might say, with the girls here. They found me pretty annoying. Most of my friends, I was never really close to. But look at us now. Not only are we best friends, but we've also gotten an even larger group of great friends. Yeah. Thanks, Hana. What? If it wasn't for you getting ice cream smushed all over you, I'd still be at the same boat I was last year. You're welcome. A burst of chatter brought our attention to the front of the cafeteria. Oh, there they are. The Normal Boots men were strolling through the room. Maya and I started gathering our things, intending to join them at the usual table, but they walked right past it and continued on to ours. Looks like they'll be joining us here. We moved over a dozen or so seats to make room for them, but when they reached our table, they stood around it. No one said a word. Aren't you going to sit? PBG shifted uncomfortably. There's something we need to talk to you about. You took them, didn't you? Pardon? The boots. You've taken the golden boots. No, we didn't take them. What's going on? The statue of the boots has been stolen.
What the hell?
No, not the boots. You guys practically worship that thing. We do worship it. What? That's awful, but like, why are you guys being so weird? Oh, sorry about that. You were looking at the boots the other day. A small silence followed. So? I think you know what I'm implying. I don't know, though. Hannah and Mai? I would have never thought they could do it. You can never trust pink-haired girls. My heart sunk. But Hannah's so harmless. Especially when compared to Mai.
What?
What was that? Nothing. Come on, you guys. You don't really think we did it, do you? They shifted uncomfortably, PBG looking away. Nick and Josh busied themselves in making faces at one another. Do you? I looked at Satch. Surely he would know that I couldn't have done it. I spent the night of the festival with Satch. I was with him. There's no way I could have done it. Satch was avoiding my eyes, squinting at something on the wall. Satch? Well, you did leave early to do something. To take care of Oscar. Who leaves a date early to look after a fish? Exactly. You've got to be kidding me. I'm innocent.
It's not my fault.
So am I. Aren't you guys our friends? We thought you were ours. Look, it might be better if we calm down and return to this later, okay? But... It was too late. Shane led the club back to their own table where they buried their heads together in whispered conversation. I can't believe this. Hana, I'm so sorry. If I hadn't stolen the key to look at the boots, they would have They wouldn't have suspected us. Yeah, her voice changed for a minute. I looked at Mai, suddenly feeling like I was seeing her for the first time. You didn't steal them, right?
What?
What? Like you said, you did steal the key, and you said you had sticky fingers, so...
I can't believe this.
I can't believe this. How could you say something like that to me? Don't you trust me at all? I can't even. She gathered up her things. But it's only logical. I just want a straight answer. It's not.
It's not my fault.
No, of course I didn't take them. Are you kidding me? You think I would do something to hurt any of my friends? Not to mention Jared?
This is so stupid.
I'm leaving. Have fun by yourself. She stormed off, shutting the cafeteria door with a bang. How did this happen? In a matter of minutes, I had not only lost all the new friends I'd made and any chance to join in the Normal Boots Club, but I also lost my best friend and the person I'd be rooming with all year. I stared at my food. Suddenly, I wasn't hungry anymore. The chatter of the lunch table grew louder and louder until it seemed unbearable. I had to get out of here. Shoving away my tray, I got up and headed out the cafeteria, away from all the people, into my only sanctuary, my room. I stood trembling in the doorway of our room. Thankfully, Mai wasn't there. I glanced out the window. Class would be starting soon, and students who ate on the lawn trickled back to their respective classrooms. I would miss class, but I didn't care. How could this have happened? I sat on the side of my bed. I thought I was finally fitting in somewhere. I thought I'd finally made friends. But I lost it all in a matter of seconds. This was so stupid. The room blurred as I started to cry. This was so stupid. Why did we have to go look at the boots without asking? Now everyone thought I heaved a sob, not bothering to try and keep quiet. Everyone was at class now anyways. Hana? I jumped. Satch poked his head around my door. The door I'd forgot to lock. What are you doing here? I hastily wiped my cheeks and the arm of my blazer, but it was too late. I could tell from the expression on Satch's face he knew I was crying. He crept into the middle of the room, not moving any closer to me. I don't think you did it. You don't? No, the Hana I know would never hurt another person. And she would never take something that didn't belong to her. She's too kind to do something like that. Tears rolled down my cheeks again. Satch. I don't think Mai did it either. But concrete proof is needed before I can clear your names. Even though it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, it hardly ever works out that way. Not when it comes to people's hearts. Satch. I'm going to try to figure out who did this, okay? I nodded. Until then, it's probably best for you and Mai to lay low. I'll handle this. But... Satch shook his head. I mean it. I'll take care of this. Thank you, Satch. He nodded. He took a step towards me, reaching out as if he wanted to pat me on the shoulder, but seemed to think better of it. I'll see you around. With that, he left. I sat quietly on my bed, thinking over what happened. He said he believed us to be innocent, but I'd never seen him so stiff and formal. He seemed 1,000 miles away from me. I thought of the fun we had at the flower festival, how we laughed and shared food and hugged. As much as he said he didn't believe it, some part of him didn't trust me. Even Satch was doubting my character, albeit in the most logical way possible. Grief throttled my throat. I wanted to get to know him better, but it seemed like there was no chance for that now. Everything was too much. I was so tired. I lay down against my bed and closed my sore eyes. They were going to be swollen. Just like that, I fell asleep. Oh, we're in chapter 2. Erg. I sat up, momentarily disoriented.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey. I must have fallen asleep. The room was lit with a warm orange glow, the sun just starting to set. It was happy and calm. It eased my mood slightly as I smiled at Mai. She avoided my eyes, instead marching over to her desk. With a brisk movement, she shoved a stack of papers and books to the floor. Then she yanked out each of her drawers one by one and jumped over her desk. Pencils, plush toys, erasers that looked like little bits of food, and a surprising number of keys piled in the smooth white wood. Oh, hey! That's my Turby pen, so that's where I got off to. Mai grabbed the pen and handed it back to me without even looking at me. She stared at her desk for a few seconds, seemingly thinking. Then she began to pick through the pieces, sorting them by size and color. Her hands moved frantically, moving above the piles even when she had nothing in her hands. Hey, Mai? Her foot tapped incessantly against the floor. She tilted her head towards me, but didn't respond. It took me a few seconds to realize that I was the reason she was acting this way. Shame crept up my shoulders as I pieced together what happened just before I fell asleep. Stress or no stress, that was no way to treat my friend. I was definitely in the wrong here. Time to own up. I'm sorry about today, that I accused you. I didn't mean to. I didn't think you did it. I believe that you didn't do it. I trust you. I shouldn't have attacked you just because I was afraid. I was scapegoating. I was really wrong. Her constant movement stopped. She sat back slightly, then her shoulders heaved as she took a deep breath. Thank you. She returned to her pens and papers, but this time she was more calm and started actually putting stuff back into her drawers. I turned away from her. Needing something to cuddle, I grabbed Mr. Bunny and snuggled into his fur. It was wrong of me to accuse her. It definitely was. But at the same time, when I did... How could you say something like that to me? She got so mad, even leaving the room. In a situation like that, it would be normal to ask who did it. I wasn't entirely sure her reaction was warranted. She was so defensive about it. As much as I'd rather not acknowledge it, it was suspicious. But mine was my friend. She said she didn't do it, so I should trust her, right? Did trust mean I had to believe someone even when there was evidence to the contrary?
Oh.
Satch came by. He also thinks we didn't do it, and he's going to try to figure out who took the boots. Maya stopped sorting her stuff again, seemingly struck. Really? There's no need for him to do that. Why would he go that far for us? Satch is such a good person.
He really is. He wants us to lay low while he looks for evidence.
That's fine. I don't feel like parading around anyways. As the sun faded slowly from view, the stillness in our room began to irk me. I didn't want to leave the room, not after what happened today, but inside our dorm it was insulting. Insulated. Stuffy. Insulted. Whatever. Even though time clearly passed, I was caught in a standstill. Satch was trying to save us. There wasn't any reason for him to do such a thing. We went to the flower festival together, sure, but what happened there was nowhere near justification for him to stick his neck out for us. He'd known us, what, a month? And he was fighting against friends he had for who knows how long. Who knows how long? I didn't even know that about him, did I? Yet now that I thought about it, he saved my neck with the overdue book, too. He put his job on the line and never told me. Probably wouldn't have ever let me know, either. He took on so much for other people and was hardly ever talked about it. Why? Just because he thought he was right? And here I was, sitting in my room like a fearful child, cuddling a rabbit. I didn't think he was wrong that we should lay low. It looked really suspicious for me to be meddling right now, but I couldn't just sit here and do nothing. Some library books have gone missing. Oh, that's it. I could help him find those library books. Working the library was is what helped him pay to go to Asagao, after all. It'd be really bad if he got in trouble or even fired. Granted, it wasn't his fault. It was probably the librarian's, but she was the one with the power. And he wouldn't have time to time them. He wouldn't have time to find them. He wouldn't have time to time them. Yeah, you know. He wouldn't have time to find them if he was trying to clear my name. Of course, he'd never let me do it if he knew I was helping him, so I just wouldn't mention it. Knowing that there was still something I could do to help someone who was himself so helpful made me feel tons better.
Hey, do you want to work on that geography homework together? I'm never good at remembering where the Mushroom Kingdom is.
Maya snapped out of her stupor with a jolt. Huh? Oh, sure. With a renewed sense of purpose, Maya and I got to work. Things wouldn't stay like this for long. It was just a matter of time before it blew over. Maya and I faced each other in the stairwell, hearts pumping fast. Are you ready? I took a deep breath. There was nothing for it. We'd have to face them eventually. Might as well be now.
Yeah, let's do this.
Together we stepped into the hallway. Immediately ahead of us, Jared and PBG were grouped around a locker, whispering to each other with dark looks. Hey, guys. Even from across the hall, the looks on their faces were priceless. We approached them. So far, so good. They hadn't run. How are you two doing this fine day?
Swell. We're swell.
I winced. My voice was so high-pitched, even I was hurting from it. My elbowed Jared in the side with a casual chuckle. Ready for that quiz? I'm not in your grade. Right. I meant PBG. I was talking to him. So, are you? PBG glanced around him in desperation, finally locking eyes with Jared in a plea for help. I have to go now. I was supposed to meet a person at my locker for some ladles. Ladles? PBG grabbed Jared's arm, clinging for dear life. Bye. I fucking love Jared. Okay. Jared ripped his arm away and dashed up the stairs.
Oh.
Damn, no wonder he was so popular. He could probably medal in track with legs like those. Turning to face PBG, I smiled brightly. PBG was always friendly. He always considered others' feelings. He'd probably be okay with us.
Well, ready for class?
PBG glanced from the books in his hands to his locker. Yeah, I forgot that I also needed, He walked away. They just left? What the heck was that?
It was a little much to assume things would just go to normal right away.
It's not that things should go to normal, but couldn't there have been a little decency? They were acting like we were glittering vampires or something. I wanted to console her, to say something encouraging, but my mind was completely blank. Instead of thoughts, a feeling pounded its way through my skull and down to my heart. Betrayal.
I thought we were friends.
This sucks. I was so close to Jared, and closer than I've ever been before. Now he's further away than ever, and it's not because I freaked him out. I thought he would have... Come on, let's just go to class. Maybe if we keep our heads down, lunch will go better. Class that morning wasn't fun. When I first entered the room, I nodded at them, trying to declare my friendship in some way. PBG and John wouldn't look at me. Their backs remained fully turned the entire class. One person did look our way. Boy, did he look. Shane is just like, fuck you. Each time his gaze strayed to our side of the room, it was filled with venom. Ultimately, neither Mai or I could handle it. We kept our heads low and did our work. I had no idea what was Shane's deal. He was acting like we murdered a batch of baby seals or told him digestives were nasty. There was nothing we could do but wait for time to pass. When the bell for lunch finally rang, we hung back a bit and tried to decide what to do. It's not like we can avoid the entire cafeteria. I didn't bring my lunch today. More importantly, I don't want to run away. This whole thing is stupid. We've done nothing wrong. There's no reason that we're being treated like murderers or people who use ad block. Look, let's just go to lunch. We'll pretend everything is normal. And if that doesn't work out, if that doesn't work out, then we'll see what then. That was how Maya and I ended up sitting in the middle of the cafeteria. Standing in the middle of the cafeteria, our trays piled with spaghetti and cheesecake. There were seats open at the normal boots table. They hadn't bothered to block them off. We stared doubtfully in their direction. Sash looked up. He smiled at us. It was like hearing music for the first time. In that moment, I realized we hadn't seen a friendly look all day. I began, just a little, to hope. Maybe it'll be fine. Maybe they won't mind.
Let's give it a go, shall we?
We headed for the table. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. They weren't moving. We were almost at the table. It looked like... But then the body shifted. Books and feet came out of nowhere, and suddenly there weren't any free seats. We stared at them, unable to believe our eyes. They looked away sheepishly. It almost seemed premeditated. I couldn't tell whether they chose to do it this way to hurt our feelings, or if they just hadn't realized we were still trying to make things right. Sorry, Hanamai. It's just, we've got a lot to think about right now. Official club business, you know? Privacy would be nice.
Of course.
I turned about to walk away and then thought better of it. If things were going on like this, maybe it was better if we just did get it over with one blow. Why keep trying if they weren't going to give us a chance?
So, does this mean we won't be able to sit with you guys anymore?
A look of alarm passed across Satch's face. He opened his mouth to protest, but... I think it would be best if we had some time to figure things out. I hung my head. I didn't want to look at them anymore. Maya and I turned from the table, and as we walked away, the looks on our faces made it plain what just happened with the rest of the students. Hushed whispers rippled through the cafeteria. They got kicked out!
Did something happen?
I knew it wouldn't last. As we continued across the cafeteria, something clattered to the right of us. A spoon was on the table, having fallen out of Luke's mouth. Ian grimaced and looked away. Even the Hidden Block Club was aghast. Even they didn't want to have anything to do with us. I frantically searched their faces, looking for some sign of warmth, but a hand clamped around my shoulder, jostling me out of my thoughts. You call yourself friends? Mai was yelling. She turned around and was all out yelling at the Normal Boots Club. The men of the Normal Boots Club stared at their food. I can't believe you. Any of you. I thought you were better than this. She looked directly at Jared. Her hand tightened on my arm so much that it hurt. I thought you were all better than this. If this is how you treat your friends, we don't want any part of it. Tears rolled down my face. Horrified, I reached up to wipe them and nearly dropped my tray on the floor. I didn't want to be there anymore. Come on, Hana. She jerked me away from the tables, away from the whispering herds of students, away from our so-called friends. Just before they left the cafeteria, Mai faltered. I really thought you were better than that. And we left. Without even realizing, we arrived at the classroom. Neither of us actively chose it, but it was completely empty, so it would do. We automatically sat in our regular desks. I turned my chair around to face Mai, this time tilting it a bit further back to block the opposite side of the room. I was still crying. No matter how hard I tried, the tears wouldn't stop coming. I hated it. I hated feeling so stupid and emotional. It would be much better if I could be like Mai and get angry, make it seem like it didn't affect me at all. But it did affect me. It really did. So much that Mai had to come to my rescue in front of everybody. At least I had her. She could have tried to distance herself from me and make herself look better, but she didn't. Where would I be without her? We ate in silence. The spaghetti I had, an American special, tasted like plastic. Mai shifted in front of me, drumming her hands against the top of her desk. In fact, she wasn't eating much at all. She pushed her food around her plate, glancing up now and then to look out at the cloudy skies. Finally, she noticed me watching her. And that's where we're going to end this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you see, please leave a like, comment down below, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!